Good evening, trustees, staff, and members of the public who are joining our February 10, 2026 Public Learning, Equity, and Wellbeing Standing Committee meeting. This meeting is called to order. We have Trustee Butterworth online and Trustee Jenny Chen online, and then so we have Trustee Michael Chen in person, Trustee Estelle Cohen online, and Trustee Wright in person. The chair will recognize Trustee Michael Chen to do the land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Chair. We affirm that we are all treaty people and acknowledge that the York Region District School Board is located on the land of 2 treaties. These treaties have been signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nations and the First Nations of the Williams Treaties, who are the Mississaugas of Alderville, Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Scugog Island, and the Chippewas of Beausoleil, Rama, and Georgina Island, who is our closest neighbor and partner in education. To honor this agreement, we will take up our responsibility to be respectful of their traditions, knowledge, and inherent rights as a sovereign nation. We will respect the relationship with these lands and recognize that our connection to this land is through the continued relationship with these First Nations, and we acknowledge our shared responsibilities to respect and care for the land and waters for future generations. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, Trustee Michael Chen, so we move to approval of the agenda. Without objection, the agenda as presented shall be adopted. Is there any objections? So without objection, the agenda is adopted. Declaration of a conflict of interest. At this time, the chair would ask any trustee who has a direct personal interest or direct or indirect pecuniary interest in any matter being discussed by the board during this meeting to state the conflict and nature thereof. Seeing and hearing none, approval of the minutes. The minutes of the January 13, 2026 Learning, Equity, and Wellbeing Standing Committee meeting have been distributed to all trustees. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Seeing and hearing none, as there are no corrections, the minutes are approved as presented. Delegations. Currently, there are no community delegations. Board reports. School year calendar 2026-2027. Before the committee is the school year calendars. 2026-2027 report. The chair recognized Director of Education Bill Kober, Associate Director of Education, Schools, Programs, and Equitable Outcome, Neil Gunnavan, and Superintendent of Education, Schools and System Operations, Laura Listy, to present this report. So thank you.
Thank you. And through you, Madam Chair, I'm here tonight to bring forward our proposed school year calendars for the 2026-2027 school year for approval prior to submission to the Ministry of Education. To provide some context, each year school boards develop calendars for the next school year and submit these to the ministry for approval. The proposed calendars are developed taking into consideration a number of factors, including a direction we receive from the ministry, shared resources, and in our case, I think a very specific one is shared busing with our coterminus board, the York Catholic Board, which aligning our calendar with theirs allows us to ensure fiscal responsibility. Our faith days, holidays, operational and special events, and our collective agreement requirements. From December to February, the proposed calendar information is shared with a number of groups for input, including various departments, our union partners, senior leadership, and here today with trustees. Once approved, we will submit our calendar to the Ministry of Education for approval, And in mid-May, the ministry will return approval notices, and this information will be shared with our community. I'd like to review some of the specifics of the 4 proposed calendars that you have in your agenda package. The Ministry of Education does identify the parameters that we can use when we develop our calendar, and this information is on the school year calendar public page to be shared with our communities. Some of these parameters include that a regular school year is typically from September 1st to June 30th. A school year must have a minimum of 194 school days. The school holidays are guided by the ministry and include Labor Day, a winter break, Family Day, March break, Good Friday, Easter Monday, and Victoria Day, as well as summer holidays. For the 2026-27 school year, we are proposing the school year start on Tuesday, September 2nd, and end on Wednesday, June 30th. Included in the 194 days are professional activity days. School boards must have a minimum of 3 professional activity days to support ministry-mandated learning and can have up to 4 additional professional activity days. In York Region, we utilize all 7 professional activity days. School boards may also request that a school year calendar fall outside of the parameters identified above, and we are bringing forward tonight 2 proposed calendars at the secondary level that are outside the identified school year. The York Region District School Board has 4 early start schools, Keswick, Maple, Markville, and Sutton, that are represented on our early start secondary calendar that you have in front of you. These schools historically start 1 week prior to the regular school year and have a 1-week break in the fall. YRDSB also has a special schedule at Bill Crothers Secondary School to accommodate their unique program. The proposed calendar for Bill Crothers has a start date for the school year on Monday, August 17th, and they have additional breaks throughout the school year to maintain the required 194 instructional days. For the 2026-27 school year, elementary and regular secondary students will start classes on Tuesday, September 8th after the Labor Day weekend. Early start secondary school students will start on Monday, August 31st, and Bill Crothers secondary school students will start on Tuesday, August 18th. This is in line with what many of our GTA school board partners have done, as this calendar year looks a little bit different with our later Labor Day weekend. This is a cycle that occurs about once every 7 years. We are aware that some of our 10-month employees, including educational assistants, typically collect employment insurance during the summer months, and this year will look somewhat different for these staff, as it does every 7th year. Well, this is a change in employment insurance for these staff. This is a recurring situation that is tied to the calendar cycle and the same schedule that our neighboring school boards have made in order to provide the correct number of school days to our students in York Region. The 4 calendar packages can be found in your agenda package, and I'm happy to take any questions that trustees may have.
Thank you for the staff for providing the report. Trustees, are there any questions? Okay, Trustee Wright.
Thank you, Chair, through you. If I understood you, you said that school's starting on the 8th?
Correct.
September?
For students.
So what happens on the 4th of September? Just because I see ES, and then a blank space.
Right, so our teaching staff will attend professional activity days on Wednesday, September 2nd and Thursday, September 3rd. And then Friday, September 4th will be a summer holiday. So our students won't really see a difference in our families, but our teachers will. And that is necessary because of the late Labor Day. Typically, we would not put those PA days at that time. We would put them during the school year. But if we were to do that, we will not be able to finish by June 30th, which is a requirement of the ministry, and have the correct number of instructional days for our students.
Got it. So you can't push them to the 28th and 29th of July and get in enough school days for the kids. That's why it's set up this way.
Correct.
Just so I understand. Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, thank you. So the chair recognizes Trustee Butterworth to ask question.
Hello, thank you, Chair. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So you talked about the school calendar and a little bit how this happens every 7 years or whatever with the impact on those who are on a 10-month contract and collecting EI. So can you explain, I guess, more how this impacts them? So they would be, if you're collecting employment insurance, I'm assuming then you'll be getting it up to the Tuesday, which would be September the 1st. They wouldn't be getting employment insurance, which would be on Wednesday and the Thursday, the 2nd and 3rd, because they're considered work days. But then the Friday, you're calling it a summer holiday, but they're not getting paid. Is that my understanding of that?
Through you, Madam Chair, just so that I am sure that I am correct, I am going to say that they are able to collect unemployment insurance for all of the days that they're not working, but I'm going to turn to CFO Maharaj to ensure that my words are correct.
Thank you. Just doing some really quick math and just trying to determine, so if, and I'm just going to say, I'm not sure whether or not they would be entitled to claim EI for the Friday, because technically we're recalling them to work on the Wednesday. But when I do quick math based on the average salary, I determine that on average, the employees would be making $633 a week on EI benefits. When we call them back for the 2 days, they would be earning $433 from the board for the 2 days that we pay them. They would then be entitled to still claim $215 in EI benefits for the other days that week, the Monday and Tuesday, which would net them $648 for that week versus the $633 on EI benefits. So that's my quick math. So to me, it works out as they're being kept whole. If they are able to claim EI benefits for the Friday, they would actually be earning more than the $648. So in my quick math, and I can confirm this when the report comes back to board for approval, that in fact my math is correct, but that's sort of my rough calculation at this point, is that they would actually be whole, but they'd have to work the 2 days.
Okay. Well, my concern is, and that's what I want to be 100% certain on, is that they're not getting a day where they're not able to collect pay when they normally would be. If they were getting EI for the whole week, I mean, I understand we come back for a PA day or 2, whatever, and I understand the how the school year calendar is, but if they're not getting paid for that Friday through us, obviously, because it's not a work day for them, and EI, I have a problem with that, because they don't have an opportunity to collect the money that they're entitled to. So I would want to be sure versus, quick math kind of thing.
Any others? Anyone can answer this one? Oh, any questions? So Trustee Chen, so.
Then I'll just go with my question. I would just like to clarify that the employee that we're talking about here, are they contract employee or are they just on constant payroll? It's just that they're not getting paid during summer, so they'll have to apply for EI.
Thank you, and through you, Chair. Yeah, so those would be our contract employees that are our 10-month employees with the board who typically work in our schools and student-facing jobs, like an educational assistant who has a permanent full-time job with us but is not employed in July and August, typically in the summer months.
Because I did take the opportunity to ask someone who's in the Service Canada EI call center, and of course, as the government's people, they always say call the EI call center. So, but the general idea that the message that I'm getting is that all these people can do is for that particular week in their EI report, all they have to do is to declare that 2 days of work, and they're still getting, paid for that Friday. It's just that the 2 days of work, it will be a 50% deduction for dollar earns. There's whole math behind it. However, when it comes to the September 2nd, when after coming to school, then they'll just have to tell the EI that, hey, I'm back to school and I'm done. So that marks the end of the story. So there's no other hassle. It's just all just report declarations. So I'm just under the impression that perhaps this could be something that we can reach out to Service Canada and have someone to help us clarify and deliver some kind of workshop to help us better understand, so we don't have to be worried about this every 7 years. Just happen to be a lucky 7, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. So any other trustee have any questions? Okay, so seeing and hearing none. So let's move to the motions. So the recommendation contains on page 7 through 10 of the agenda package is here for adoption. Due to the motion's length, the reading of the motion shall be waived. So you can see the motion will be displayed on the screen. Trustee, you can starting to read the recommendation from the screen. So without objection, the recommendation as provided on the page 7 through 10 of the agenda package shall be adopted. Is there any objections? So is there any objection? Yeah. Okay. Since we do see Trustee Butterworth has an objection here. Since there's an objection, this move that the motion as presented on the screen be adopted. Is there any debate? So let's move to, so the chair recognizes Trustee Butterworth to debate.
Thank you, Chair. I assume you can still hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, my debate is the fact that I'm still concerned about we don't know for sure about how this is going to impact our 10-month employees or those who are on EI for the summer. And I would like a more definitive answer before we pass this. So may I make a motion to refer back to staff to further investigate this?
It is moved to refer the pending motion to staff. Is there any debate? Trustee Butterworth, do you have any, can you starting your debate?
Start my debate?
So do you have any debate or no?
My debate is that I don't feel the report is, I guess, satisfactory or convincing. That I'd like to know the impact on our 10-month, I guess they're 10-month employees who are collecting EI. I would like to know how this impacts them. That's my question. I can't, in good faith, say that I agree with this school year calendar decision without knowing the impact that that is going to have on our 10-month staff.
Okay, thank you. So is there any other debate? Okay, so the chair recognizes trustee right to debate.
I don't know that it's a debate, it's just a question. When is this calendar due to the ministry? March 1st? And do we have time to get the answers that Trustee Butterworth is looking for and bring it back to a committee to vote before March 1st?
So the director wanted.
Through you, Madam Chair, to Trustee Wright. So Trustee Wright, there's a couple things at play here. One of the things that I think we can take out of this feedback is in regard to the Service Canada procedure. So there is a procedure where staff apply for EI in the off months to Service Canada, and in the week of service that's provided, they must declare the employment hours. And those particular employment hours that they declare, in this particular case on the Wednesday, Thursday, would be hours that they would declare working, and the remainder of the week they would declare not working. What we can do is have Coordinating Superintendent of Human Resource Services Gardner, Associate Director Maharaj put together information in support of Service Canada's processes, because we have information for this for our employees as we prepare our records of employment each and every year for staff to utilize in the application process that they go through. This is something that we can support with our communication, and also work with our union leadership in their communication around this as well. Recognizing the school year calendar is to be confirmed for the ministry for March the 1st. And so that would be the response that I think would perhaps provide the supports that folks are looking for here this evening.
Yeah, thank you. So any other trustee have any questions?
Can I just have a follow-up?
Yeah, okay, so the chair recognizes trustee Wright to do the follow-up.
Quickly, because I see I still have a minute. So I already asked the question, but I'm going to just confirm it again. This is the proposed calendar, and I'm sure you guys looked at lots of different options. There's no other option than to do it this way, than to have the kids in school the right amount of days as per the ministry. So this is basically it. And there's no moving those days around to a different period in order for the staff to get their EI for that entire week. Am I correct in understanding that?
So, yeah.
Through you, Chair, I can say this. So the boards that we've been working with are going before the start of the long weekend. Most boards going with the Wednesday, Thursday, some are going with the Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay, turn the microphone on. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair, to you, Trustee Wright. A different option, because the ministry does allow us to bring students back, would be to bring our students back to school prior to Labor Day weekend. I don't think it would have an impact on the EI situation, but it would be a different way to configure the calendar. We did work closely with our neighboring GTA boards, knowing that we have staff who live in other boards and students, that it's best to be aligned in practice. Our coterminous board, we really fiscally need to be aligned with. So as Associate Director Gunnethung has pointed out, Durham, Toronto, York Catholic, and Simcoe all have the same schedule as we do, and Peel has a similar schedule, although they have chosen the Tuesday and Wednesday as their professional activity days, where we have chosen the Wednesday and Thursday. But all of the GTA boards, in order to meet ministry compliance, as you correctly state, with the number of school days, have looked at this option. Yes.
Great, thank you very much for clarifying.
Yeah, thank you. So the chair recognizes trustee Butterworth to ask questions.
Thank you very much. So I'm not opposed to being in alignment with everyone, but if this obviously is not going to be an issue just with our board, I'm thinking then if all of these boards are doing the same as we are, then I'm sure they have 10-month employee contracts. And, has this, I guess my question is, has this ever been an issue before? If this is a 7-year, cycle or whatever, what have we done in past years? Have we had any issues with this? And how, if we have, how have we resolved it?
Thank you, and through you, Chair, yes, we do have this issue every 7 years, and exactly as Director Kober pointed out, we work with our human resources and finance teams and prepare a communication to support our 10-month employees to submit their application for employment insurance in the most expeditious way that they can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, may I have a follow-up?
Yeah, so the chair recognized Butterworth for the follow-up.
Thank you, Chair. So what do we mean by support? Because I'm looking at dollars and cents here. I'm not looking at, we help them get their forms in. I'm looking at the dollars and cents piece, and nobody's answered me yet. Do they lose any pay? And if we're not sure about that, then in good faith to our employees, can't say that this is okay. So that's what I need to know.
Okay, the chair, the director will answer this question.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to Trustee Butterworth. Trustee Butterworth, what we commit to do is to give all of the information for the employee in their application with Service Canada. The one thing that we cannot do is confirm exactly what Service Canada is going to approve. What we recognize is that Service Canada is now in a weekly reporting process, and you report the hours that you work in the weekly cycle. And so that is the information that we can share with you right now. I can't tell you exactly what the dollar value is that they would be compensated for on the Friday through Service Canada. That is a Service Canada criterion, and it would be inappropriate for the York Region District School Board to commit to Service Canada's fulfillment of those unemployment claims. And I think respectfully, we have to be conscious of that, but making sure that we work to support our employees in their unemployment claims, that they are able to claim the time that is not worked. Thank you.
Thank you. So Trustee Butterworth, do you have a follow-up question?
Again, I want to be respectful to all involved. I appreciate the timelines. I appreciate the work that goes into setting the calendar year. All of that is just, it's still not sitting well with me. And I realize you can't answer on behalf of Service Canada. I'm not asking you to do that, but I'm asking just, we need to be certain that, in some way our employees aren't going to lose a day's pay because of how we set up a calendar year. That's my concern. So as long as that is noted, and whatever else happens, that I'd like that, us to be cognizant of that.
Okay, thank you. So the chair recognized Trustee Michael Chen to ask questions.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to just understand that these employees who comes back to work for 2 days and are off for a day, and then back to back to work after Labor Days. So technically speaking, my understanding with how EI works is that yes, they will have to declare that 2 days coming back for a PA days, and then on that Friday they will just still declare that they're not work, but they're still looking for work intentionally, of course. So they will get paid for that. So technically, they are not losing any EI. So it's just that 2 days of earnings will be deducted against that week's EI benefit payment. now I think my question now is does this special period, like calendar triggers these employees to reapply for EI again, or they can just, or that EI just continues to, they can just continue to benefit this year until, they declare all that 2 days of, PA days, and then close down that EI. So regardless, they're gonna get paid, that's what I understand. It's just that there's just that extra effort, but this effort has to happen every 7 years, unfortunately, because of all the EI rules that they're bound under right now. But no, they will not lose their pay. That's my understanding. And also, I'd like to point out that I did receive a lot of comments and feedback from my parents in my wards, wondering if we can confirm our school starting date because they are booking their vacations, which is very important because I understand that United States, they start early, so this is a period of time where they can actually get a very good price and take the family out for vacation. So if we'll be able to confirm confirm this calendar, I think that would be we'll be doing a very good benefit to all parents actually right now, so that they know that we have a confirmed calendar. So my understanding is yes, the employee will get paid, and then we can confirm. So there's no problem in this calendar, and also the fact that also other school boards are also following the same calendar dates. So which it's technically in line with what the ministry is mandating. So we're not going to go against the ministry.
Yeah, thank you. So any other trustee have any questions? Okay, so seeing and hearing none, the question is on the adoption of the motion to refer the pending motion to staff. All those in favor say yes. All those opposed say no.
No.
So
The motion.
Is that what we're talking about now?
yes,
Trustee
I
Butter
usually
versus-
I'll say no to the so Trustee Butterworth's motion.
My answer is no.
No. Okay, so Trustee Butterworth, yes or no?
So I'm voting on my motion
Yeah.
as to referring it to staff.
Yes.
I'm voting yes, refer to staff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Trustee Michael Chen,
I vote no.
no. Okay, so Trustee Jenny Chen,
No.
so Trustee Esther Cohen.
I'll vote no in this situation.
Okay, so the chair also vote no. The no has it. The motion is lost. The question is now on the main motion. The question is on the adoption of the motion as presented on the screen. All those in favor say yeah. All those opposed say no. So we're starting to have the motion on the one, so the school calendar, the one on the screen. So I will one by one to call the name and see yes or no. So Trustee Wright, yes or no?
Yes.
Trustee Jenny Chen, yes or no? Trustee Jenny Chen.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Trustee Cohen,
Yes.
Trustee Butterworth,
No.
Trustee Michael Chen.
Yes.
So the chair also have yes. The yes have it. The motion is adopted as presented on the screen. The motion shall be considered by the board. So we move to the Artificial Intelligence AI in York Region District School Board, YRDSB. Before the committee is the Artificial Intelligence AI in York YRDSB report. It's here for our information. The chair recognized the Associate Director of Education, Neil Ganafan, and Coordinating Superintendent of Education, Curriculum and Instructional Services and Continuing Education, Gillian Gibbon, to present this report. Thank you.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Liang. So good evening. I'm here tonight with Kevin Coe, Principal of Digital Literacy and Parent Engagement, to share updates to our artificial intelligence, or AI, strategy for YRDSB. AI is changing the way we interact with technology and the wider world. It has become embedded in so much that we do, and as educators, it is important that we understand the responsible and appropriate use of AI to support our daily work and to enhance our learning environments. The Ministry of Education has made the teaching of digital literacy, including the appropriate use of AI tools and a deep understanding of cybersecurity and privacy implications, a priority on our ministry professional activity days. Our digital literacy and IT teams have done a lot of work to create guidelines and teaching supports for teachers, guidelines for our corporate management staff, guidelines for students, and materials for parents to help support student learning. As well, software and applications are continually being assessed and integrated in ways that support the work of the York Region District School Board and that provide the necessary guardrails to allow for safe and effective use. At this time, I'd like to invite Kevin Coe, our Principal of Digital Literacy and Parent Engagement, to share the steps we are taking to integrate AI tools and educate students and staff.
Thank you, Jillian. So, is the slide deck up? Thank you. So over the past year, we have been working to provide training to educators on the use of AI and prompt generation for interaction with AI chatbots. What we're talking about here specifically is the use of generative AI, such as ChatGPT, Google Gemini, just to name a couple of the tools that are available to the public. We've designed our training around 3 pillars, namely knowledge, critical thinking, and accountability. We have developed training for educators and for students and families. And I'll also point out that any tool in class, the use of AI tools in class is at the direction of teachers. So our work builds upon the district action plan pillars of student achievement, health and well-being, and human rights and inclusive education. The use of generative AI is there to support the district action plan. We can see, and I think all of us have seen in society, that AI can be a powerful tool, but we want to consider it as a co-pilot or a thought partner in our work. Of extreme importance is ensuring that any digital tool used within YRDSB is safe. We have a process to review all digital tools and ensure that they are in alignment with Ontario's Trustworthy AI Framework and MFIPA. Digital tools used in YRDSB must protect and safeguard student data. Because of our agreements with YRDSB and Microsoft and Google, when staff and students log into either Google Gemini or Microsoft Copilot with their board credentials, our data is protected by this agreement. What does that mean in terms of being protected? Well, in terms of being protected, our data is encrypted when interacting with the AI. Consider the use of AI in YRDSB as a walled garden. When you log in with your board credentials, there are protections in place. Our data is not used to train AI models, nor is it human reviewed. There is no ad profiling from our use of AI tools from Gemini and Copilot. And additional safeguards are put into place to help protect from harmful content. For example, higher risk features such as image generation for impersonation or deepfakes. Safety filters are put into place to make sure that it can block harmful, graphic, or inappropriate content. That being said, though, we must always teach students how to review any response from an AI chatbot. We also know that students have access to these tools on their own devices at home and outside of our school environment. And part of our role is to teach students how to employ critical thinking when looking at AI responses in and outside of the school environment. Training for the use of chatbots is in alignment with the Ontario Ministry of Education's Training for Schools and AI. We are developing resources around cyber safety and security, such as the lesson plans and professional development sessions, digital learning modules, and so on, for students, as well as home-based cyber safety resources for parents and guardians. In kindergarten to grade 6, the decision is made that chatbots will not be accessible in our board credentials for students. They will not have access to Gemini and Copilot from within our licenses. Obviously, what the parents choose to do at home is out of our control, but we are then going to train on AI literacy. We are providing resources for teachers and for parents to use to talk about what is AI, how does AI learn, what about the critical thinking when you're looking at an AI response, and accountability of the data that is created, and then teaching students how to use technology in safe and responsible ways. So grades 7 to 12 is when AI chatbots will be turned on. This is through the direction of teachers. Teachers will direct students to say, when and how might you be able to use the thought partner that is in front of you? We want to think about AI as a thought partner. It is not there to replace the teacher. It is not there to replace their thinking. We are going to help students to learn and understand how to use AI for things such as brainstorming, structure their ideas, and also to receive feedback, rather than for direct content generation without giving attribution to that work. We want to look at explicit instruction on AI safety and well-being as well. In that sense, we want to teach them, when you look at a response, when you look at something that's been generated, is this real? Is this a deep fake? Is this something social media is giving you because of its algorithm? It's not just about the AI tool at this point. It is about digital literacy across every aspect of their lives. That digital citizenship where they are interacting with this digital world. We are leveraging AI as well to look at AI to support students with diverse learning needs, including our MLL students and students who do require assistive technologies. The tools of AI are very good at helping to support us. But again, this is in support of the teacher and in the classroom. And again, just a reminder that it's just meant to be at the direction of the educators or their teachers. And finally, as we have rolled out, there are supports for families as well. We know that families are asking questions. There are, on the YRDSB website, there is support and resources for artificial intelligence that families can go to so that you can talk with your children about the ethical and good use of AI. We're building up the understanding of what is AI literacy, digital safety and well-being, and also then strategies to foster critical thinking. Parents can go to the website to see the resources for their children and for themselves as families, and to see what we as a board are training our educators in terms of the use of AI. And that's really our update for AI going forward. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, staff, for providing this report. That's an excellent report. Well done. So any trustee have any questions? So the chair recognize Trustee Cohen to ask questions.
Thanks very much, Chair. Okay, I made a few notes, so I'm just going to read from them. Okay, so I understand that we all need to accept that AI is here to stay. And that I've accepted as well, along with the parents. We can't deny it and we can't ignore it. So this is quite clear. That being said, cell phones are here to stay as well. And we realized that we needed to make new restrictions like limiting use in schools, especially for our younger students. So along these lines of thinking, I've been receiving a significant number of calls and emails from parents who are concerned about the effects of AI, especially on our younger students. One parent sent an email sharing their concerns. To quote the parent, "By using these tools at an early age, you are missing an opportunity to teach students how to properly summarize material or make notes more succinct. It seems a lazy way to lead learning at a young age." I'm sure you've heard these things as well. So my question is, how do we reassure our parents that AI will not limit the development of critical thinking by introducing it at such an early stage of intellectual development? Kevin, I know you've done a great job, and I've been at some of your workshops, so I know you're wonderful. But how do we reach parents and reassure them that this is okay? Because they're still very, very worried.
So in terms of as the rollout goes, it's the kindergarten to grade 6 where we are not introducing a chatbot. They are not going to have access to our chatbots. And so they shouldn't be accessing them at school, not through our board credentials. But what we are doing in that piece about critical thinking that you mentioned, That is the work in kindergarten to grade 6. The work in that training is to help students to recognize, is this true or not? Is this a real post? Is this a real video? Or is it not? We are wanting to get to that point of, I can look at something and use some critical thinking in that to say, I think that might not be real, and this is why. And that's why kindergarten to 6, there is no access to it. Starting grade 7, that's where we will begin. And again, the materials going in for the teachers talk about it as a thought partner. It is there to do work with. And the key part in the work we have done is talked about, it is the human in the loop. The human comes up with perhaps an idea. AI can help us generate and look at what is the information I need to know. And then the human has to review it again. And in that is their critical thinking. And if students can take this as a, let's say, a brainstorming activity, I want to develop research. And it's almost like, I could liken it to doing a Google search, where I have to evaluate the Google search to see, is the data that I'm getting out of a Google search correct or not? AI just makes that faster. And so in that is still critical thinking. The summaries, I would say that my son who has used it to summarize his notes and look at what he has done and make his own summaries can compare, oh, did I miss something or not? So there are many key aspects in that learning that we are bringing to teachers to think about. And the work that as we do these after-school sessions around AI in terms of AI literacy, we want to make sure that critical thinking is at the forefront of that. So I hope that we can assure the parents that we are doing the work to make sure students can see the AI and use it well as that thought partner, not replace their own thinking.
Yeah, thank you.
May I follow up?
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Okay, so that sounds great, and it's reassuring to know that they won't be doing, I didn't know the word, but chat box or whatever, until grade 7.
Yes.
So then we go to the essay writing kind of thing, and
Yes.
I know that in grade 7, kids aren't experts at writing essays. So once we subject them to this opportunity, you know, here's a few ideas, make an essay for me. How will I convince parents it's okay, because they're afraid that their children will never learn to write an essay, which is very important in every subject pretty well, because AI is more than a friend or, you know, a support, it's a crutch. They'll use the word crutch. They'll do the work. So how do we resolve that? Still, grade 7 is pretty early to be an expert at writing an essay before you have a chance to ask your buddy, chat box, whatever, to do it for you.
Yes. So one of the key areas in training that we are doing with teachers is looking at AI and assessment. Assessment is not just the final product. What you talk about there as an essay or a report would be a final product. And we have to move away just from that final product. Learning is not just about, did I create something? It is the work along the way. It's the conversations teachers will have with students. And it is the observations of the work that they are doing. In that, every teacher I have spoken with, and myself included, we know along the way if our students are following with us or falling behind. And that's the main work. It's not about the final product, it's about the process, the observations and the conversations. The product is just there to tie it together. And if you see the final product looking very different than the work that was done, we can have a conversation with the student to say, where did this come from and how did you get there? It is no different than before when we had perhaps a big brother who would write an essay for someone or a friend. It's that same process of, did I see the student do the work along the way? Not just depending on that final essay.
Thank you, Kevin. I think that helps a lot. I appreciate your explanation.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So the chair recognized Trustee Butterworth to ask question.
Thank you very much, Chair, and through you, thank you. I'd like to thank my colleague Estelle Cohen, like she raised a lot of the same concerns that I had, and just to add on to hers, I too have received some emails because I guess parents or families just received communication about AI, and so then I'm getting these emails, I guess, as a result of that. So I have not seen the communication that went out, but one of the concerns that sort of is I'd say a recurring concern, and I'm just going to read it here in one of the emails, you know, while we say that we meet strict security and privacy standards, the parents that I've heard from are saying that they did not get information about what tools are being used to, I guess, ensure that security and privacy standard. You know, what they're being used for and what these security and privacy standards are. And one parent even went on to say that, you know, Google Gemini is not a reliable or private tool to be using. I think we've gone sort of, I mean, I think we can, and I believe you've said this before about Gemini, there's been more security put into place because we as a board are using it and so on. And I think for those parents who are more tech, you know, oriented parents who understand this, maybe need to know that isn't just general Google Gemini, we have something tailored specifically for our board. Am I interpreting your message correctly?
That is correct, because of our licenses with both Microsoft and Google, they have both committed that our educational licenses, which is what we are using, are not used to train the models. There are additional protections put into place. So it is specifically just Gemini and Copilot as listed on the website for families, and it is protected when they log in with their child's Google Apps login information.
Okay, so let me just, I'm writing that down because I'm crafting a response to one of them. So with these educational licenses, then additional protections have been put in place, and I've got the others from your report about, you know, it, you know, generating any, you know, collecting any personal data and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I guess that is answering my question. And then you said, and I just want to reiterate, teaching the students, we've taught the staff, or we're in the process of teaching staff about all of the, you know, about the cyber safety, what responsible technology use is, and then we're talking about like ethical use. And you talked about, like, I don't know, I've heard the term deep fake and all of that kind of stuff. Are the students in the younger grades going to be learning, you know, obviously age appropriate, but things about this as well? Is this part of their learning too, to prepare them for the use of AI?
Correct. So the kindergarten to grade 6 is broken down to kindergarten to grade 3 for a very age appropriate discussion about internet, cyber safety, and sort of AI in general, really digital citizenship in general. Grades 4 to 6 have a little bit more because we know there is more exposure. As much as social media is not meant for those under the age of 13, we know many of them are already on, and so we want to prepare when they look at materials, when they see things on the news, that they have an understanding of what is true or what is not true. And so there is grade 4 to 6 development material, goes into a little more detail than the kindergarten to 3 to help them understand and be better prepared. Cyber safety and security has been done over the last couple of years as well. So we're just adding on to that with the invention and the distribution of AI in society in general.
So one last thing, Chair, if I may.
Yes, sure.
Yes, thank you. So will parents, like, will this, I guess the curriculum per se for teaching our K to 6 about AI and digital, you know, is that going to be on our website so that parents can, you know, we can say, look there, here's what your child is going to be learning about?
We have some resources.
With regards to AI?
Yes, we have some resources listed on the public-facing side of the www under artificial intelligence.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So any other trustee have any questions? So seeing and hearing none, so we move to kindergarten updates. Before the committee is the kindergarten updates report is here for our information. The chair recognized the Associate Director of Education, Neil Ganafan, and Coordinating Superintendent of Education, Gillian Gibbon, to present this report. Thank you.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Liang. So good evening again, and now I am here with Heather Young, a principal for early years and literacy, to share kindergarten updates. So this is including how we are engaging with the community to welcome and support new incoming kindergarten students and their families to YRDSB, reminders about our early years strategy and how it guides our work, and we will share an overview of the new kindergarten curriculum and how we are supporting our educators in preparing for its September launch. Kindergarten is an important first step in a child's educational journey, and we are working hard to make sure it is a wonderful, positive, fun-filled learning experience. So once again, Heather Young is here, Principal of Literacy and Early Years, to take us through the work the system's been engaging in to celebrate our youngest learners.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to the Learning Equity and Wellbeing Standing Committee this evening. I'm happy to be here on behalf of many teams to provide updates connected with all things kindergarten. Before we go any further, we're going to take a moment to set the stage with a little video clip that we've been using to promote registration, highlighting play and celebrating joyful learning.
Kindergarten is where big dreams start small. At the York Region District School Board, every child and every family belongs. Through play-based learning, children learn reading, math, problem solving, and social and emotional skills. These essential skills are the building blocks for lifelong learning and success. Kindergarten sets a strong foundation for the grades ahead. Children learn classroom routines, build confidence, and start school with a sense of belonging. All of our kindergarten classrooms have an Ontario certified teacher and a designated early childhood educator who work together to instill a love of learning and ensure that students have the tools they need to succeed in every grade. We know that home is where learning begins, and school should feel like home too. Kindergarten is an investment in your child's future. Register today and begin the joyful journey of learning, friendship, and future success for your child at YRDSB, because every big dream begins with a small first step.
Thank you. So we're just pulling the slide deck up for you now. So while there we go. There we go. Thanks so much. So kindergarten registration is now open. Families can register online, in person, or over the phone. Schools assist with the registration process in a variety of ways, such as through in-person support, and are also available to support with booking interpreters if required. This year, we are also creating new supports to enhance outreach to all families of eligible children. This visual timeline provides an overview of what this kindergarten transition process looks like for each of our newest learners. Registration continues from January right into the new school year. Schools engage with parents and guardians through a kindergarten information session that is focused on the needs of parents and guardians. It is designed to share information with families, to hear their questions, and to begin to build that very important home and school partnership. Also held at schools is Discover Kindergarten. It is a child-centered event that welcomes families into the building to meet staff and community partners, to see the classrooms, meet future peers, and to have a playful and joyful first experience right in the school. During this event, families, children, and educators will get to know one another and begin collaboratively planning for a positive start to school. Schools engage in informed, responsive planning leading up to the first day of school. In addition, an information session for families is held in January through Early Intervention Services, with team members supporting from the Student Services and Early Years teams in the region. Early Intervention Services team members also support transition to school meetings, ensuring those smooth pathways into the kindergarten program in the fall, and removing barriers for students with disabilities, emphasizing a holistic approach and nurturing the many strengths each child brings. This partnership with Early Intervention Services provides families with additional opportunities to ask questions, understand available program supports for their children, and again, nurture those important relationships between home and school. YRDSB also provides each incoming year one or junior kindergarten student with a copy of our own picture book called Playful Learning in Kindergarten, which is also available as a dual language text in 17 languages. It features photos from YRDSB classrooms and brings play-based learning in kindergarten to life. A couple of the pages are highlighted here on the screen for you to see. It also includes information for families to help them understand how the playful learning experiences in kindergarten stem from research-based practices that set strong foundations for learning in kindergarten and beyond. New this year are additional print materials to engage with potential new YRDSB families in the community. Postcards and flyers, the samples are included here, have been created to outline the registration process, highlight the benefits of kindergarten programming in our school board, as well as tips for preparing as a family for school startup. These print materials have been made available at early on centers around York Region, in public libraries, at childcare centers, and within schools, with lots more locations and events to follow. Translated resources will continue to be created. Many of our families are seeking out information digitally, including through social media platforms. So we have created ads through Meta, including Facebook and Instagram, and our public-facing website, www.yrdsb.ca/kindergarten, has been refreshed and updated to align with the branding of the Playful Learning in Kindergarten picture book, as well as specific information families are looking for, including FAQs based on those questions that we have gathered from the previously mentioned transition to school events right within the community. Also, in collaboration with the York Region Child and Family Collaborative, the York District Catholic School Board, and the Early On Child and Family Centers in York Region, YRDSB is proud to invite families of children eligible for kindergarten in September 2026 to join us for an upcoming two-part conference. This free, family-focused conference supports caregivers and children as they prepare for a successful transition to kindergarten. Families can choose to register for just one session or both sessions in this two-part conference. So the information is there for you on the screen. Part 1 is a virtual session, a focus for parents and caregivers, and that is being held Thursday, February 26th from 6:30 to 8:30. An overview of kindergarten is provided, including what families can expect when their child starts school. There is an expert panel and Q&A. Part 2 is an in-person session with the audience of families at Richmond Green Secondary School on Saturday, March 7th, and families may choose between an afternoon or morning session depending on nap time, and there's an opportunity to learn, play, and explore together. Children and adults will enjoy interactive activities and connect with community agencies, and you can register on our kindergarten website under the section Resources for Families on our kindergarten page. We would also like to take this opportunity to highlight the YRDSB Early Years strategy that was launched last spring. The strategy anchors our work and is designed to build collaborative partnerships between families, schools, and childcare, strengthening early years pedagogical approaches. The Early Years strategy aims to strengthen those partnerships between childcare and school, enhance pedagogical practices related to play and inquiry all the way from birth to grade 3, and increase continuity of programming to support that ease of transitions between grades and across the day, and also to elevate family and child voice within the early years. We apply an early childhood developmental lens to implementing board and ministry strategies, ensuring equitable, inclusive, and accessible outcomes for all learners. The strategy has 4 priority areas: growing collaborative culture, co-creating responsive learning environments, strengthening personalized learning, teaching, and assessment, and growing knowledge and capacity together. Within each of these priority areas, there are specific actions at the system, school, and educator level that work together to achieve the goals of the Early Years strategy. We are also very excited to share that the ministry has released the new kindergarten curriculum. It was just released in December, and there are clear connections to shifts in practice that we have already been taking in terms of literacy instruction in response to the Ontario Human Rights Commission's Right to Read report. Our teams are supporting educators in preparation for implementation of this new curriculum in September 2026. The kindergarten curriculum uses age-appropriate and evidence-based teaching methods. It has a student-centered approach, and it provides children with the foundational knowledge and skills that they will need to be successful in grade 1 and beyond. New learning includes evidence-based, systematic, and explicit instruction in reading, as well as strengthened learning in mathematics, science, and technology. It is very important to note that key features of Ontario's full-day kindergarten program that is currently in effect remains unchanged, and that includes play-based learning. Teachers certified through the Ontario College of Teachers and designated early childhood educators serve as co-educators in kindergarten and receive professional learning to support their delivery of this new curriculum. Some key changes to the document. The curriculum structure has changed from frames to strands, and it includes an updated strand title called Foundations of Language and Mathematics. The remaining 3 strands continue to have the same name and focus as before, with updates to the overall and specific expectations within them. Additionally, some learning has been consolidated within and across strands. Although expectations are organized in this way, the learning is often connected to more than one strand, and educators are encouraged to integrate curriculum expectations. The ministry has provided a key changes document that provides a high-level overview of some of those new and/or updated expectations. Though the table you see on the screen provides a few highlights of these changes. For more information, please refer to the ministry's key changes document on the slide, and it can also be found on the ministry's kindergarten website. So I'll highlight now just a few of these changes. Foundational literacy skills for reading and writing will be explicitly and systematically taught, and this will be in alignment with the revised grade 1 to 9 language curriculum with a focus on evidence-based strategies. In math, there are updated milestones for counting and early number concepts, such as adding and subtracting to 10, counting, estimating, and comparing numbers to 20. In math, you may also have heard about fractions in the kindergarten curriculum. Little ones will be learning about fractions through the concept of equal shares. There are connections to STEM, with scientific investigations and engineering design being named in curriculum expectations. And there is also a connection to belonging and contributing, where children will explore Canadian identity. Within the front matter of the new curriculum, instructional approaches are named for educators to rely upon, including evidence-based, explicit and systematic instruction, play-based learning, inquiry-based learning, universal design for learning, differentiated instruction, and the tiered approach. Again, we emphasize that the play-based learning approach, a key feature of Ontario's full-day kindergarten program, remains unchanged. The role of explicit and systematic instruction is more robustly described, and there is alignment with descriptions offered in the ministry's Effective Early Reading Instruction Guide, from which our teams have been creating classroom resources and pedagogical supports in advance of the new curriculum release. The ministry has a beautiful website with support for families around the new kindergarten curriculum. It includes resources for families to help them understand the curriculum, as well as resources for their children as they start school, such as activity books and social narrative stories about going to school. You can find this information at ontario.ca/page/kindergarten. In YRDSB, the early years team is busy creating resources to support administrators, educators, and families understand these new curriculum updates. We are also building pedagogical supports for planning, instruction, and assessment, and will be offering these through several ongoing professional learning opportunities, some of which are listed up on the screen there for you. The internal website is also being updated for school teams to access, and that will include a detailed flow of the day resource with practical lesson plans, examples, resources, and videos from YRDSB classrooms, examples of explicit instruction strategies for foundational literacy and mathematics skills, and sample lesson plans incorporating these new expectations. We'll conclude the way we began by bringing in just a little snapshot of life in kindergarten in YRDSB. This is another of our Experience YRDSB registration campaign videos, and we highlight that beautiful message in this video that every big dream starts with a small first step.
What letters
Thank you very much. And at this time, I'm happy to take any questions that there may be.
Thank you very much. So any trustee have any questions? Trustee Butterworth? Okay, the chair recognizes Trustee Butterworth to ask question.
Thank you very much, Chair. And what an inspiring presentation and video and everything. Thank you so much, Heather, for sharing all of that. That was amazing. One question, very simple. So the graphics that were in your presentation about that are being put out to the community, are those available, like say to us, to be able to share on our, say, social media platforms as well? Because I'm in many community groups, and I would like to get that out as much as possible as well. That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Through you, Chair Liang. Absolutely, we could make that happen. So the communications team has been working to put out some of those ads already on Meta. So you may have seen them already. They've had a very high number of views. I heard like 2,500 in the first 10 days, something like that, on Facebook and Instagram. So they are available publicly right now, and we would be thrilled if you would like to share them with your community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So any other trustee have any questions regarding to kindergarten update? So the chair recognizes Trustee Cohen to ask question.
Thank you, Chair. I was just wondering, have we tried using street signs? You know, when you drive along Bathurst or, you know, whatever street you happen to be driving along, there are large signs, for real estate signs and all kinds of signs from the city, when garbage day is, or, you know, containers. Have we thought about using any of those signs to encourage the parents to bring their children to our board for kindergarten? Thank you.
So thank you for that question, and through you, Chair Liang. Certainly they've looked, the communications department looks at lots of different ways to get the word out. Certainly on our school, all of our schools, or most of our schools, have signs out in front of them. So that would be the number one way we would kind of use street signs, is as people drive by in the neighborhoods. That would probably be the largest way. So sort of, we mainly would focus on the signs we already own. But we have looked at other options. They're always looking for good ideas.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So the chair recognizes Trustee Wright to ask question.
Just a quick question. I'm a numbers person. So just recently, actually, we've had a lot of transfer requests for one of the high schools in the area, and I know that the superintendent was struggling to deal with the amount of requests, so I suggested to her we get some numbers to put in front of parents to let them know, you know, we're sitting at 140% capacity, so we can't do it. As much as we'd like to accommodate your request, we just can't. So I'm just wondering if we've looked at doing that with kindergarten numbers and ways of communicating to parents. You know, if your kid attends kindergarten, they have a better chance of succeeding, blah, 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 whatever the number is, or percentage, or, you know, they go on to succeed, or something along that lines that puts a number or a percentage. Like, we all look at EQAO results and that kind of stuff. I think people are very fact-driven these days and very number-based, not just myself. And I'm just thinking if we've thought about adding that to, obviously maybe not necessarily this campaign, but in the future, just to give some parents something to wrap their heads around, to get them back into schools and maybe out of preschools or daycares. Just a thought to see if we'd looked at that.
So thank you. I can jump in again, and through you, Chair Liang. So we look at lots of different pieces of information. We never want to make or send a message out that might make people feel like if they don't engage in kindergarten learning, which is voluntary, that there's some kind of concern about that, but we absolutely think our kindergarten programs are fantastic. We do think it sets children up for success, and certainly now with the curriculum that has just come in, that curriculum sets you up for success in grade 1, and so we have been emphasizing that in a number of the media kind of outreaches, that we have our OCT teachers in front of our kindergarten students teaching the curriculum. But we can take that away, as you say. We're always looking at what we are doing in each year to make kindergarten and York Region District School Board the place where they want to send their children.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Any other trustee have any questions? So we have the kindergarten update finished, but I want to move to. Yeah, I know. The kindergarten? Okay, so Trustee Cohen, you have a question for kindergarten update?
Oh, thanks, Chair. Just a quick question. How are we attempting to compete with private schools to show them that we are equally strong and going to educate their children just as well? Thank you.
So thank you for the question, and through you, Chair Liang. A lot of what you just saw today was our opportunity to show all of the great things that are happening. As I said before, we have highly, highly qualified staff in front of our students, and we are getting the word out that that is the case and that the great things happen in the York Region District School Board, so that parents can make an informed choice about where they send their children to get the best education they can. We feel very strongly about how fantastic our programs are. You saw some of the videos of just some of the great things that are happening in those classrooms. So a lot of it is a lot of what you saw today is really the promotion, Chair.
Just follow-up? Is a
Yes.
follow-up okay, Chair?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just thinking, I don't even encourage them, but I know some people love uniforms. Have we ever considered uniforms? Because I know some of the private schools have uniforms. Would that make any difference? Have we thought about that?
Thank you, Trustee Cohen, and through you, Chair Liang. At this point in time, we have not looked into uniforms. We have not got reason to believe that it would be supportive of change in people's choices. I think our programs stand on their own without a uniform.
Thanks. Okay, just curious.
Okay, so thank you. So any other trustee have a question regarding to kindergarten updates? Seeing and hearing none, so I do, see Trustee Cohen have another question regarding to artificial intelligence AI in York Region District School Board. Is he right? No, okay. So thank you. So we move to the next agenda item, date of the next meeting. The next Learning Equity Wellbeing Standing Committee meeting is on March 24, 2026. So as there are no further business, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.